3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the the Red Bull Team Liquid map making contest qualifier, and we're on a brand new map called Blitzkrieg. We'll take a look at the map in a moment, but first we need to introduce the player in the top right corner of the map back on the Team For You for our Utopia. It is the blue Protoss, Tassadar. And his opponent playing for Western Wolves, showing amazing skill lately in the Acer Team Story Cup. You guys should absolutely check out those games if you haven't seen them. The VODs are very worthwhile. It's our Zerg player check. And I'll say real quick, before anyone gets into this, I'm not picking Koreans because I want to pick Koreans, and you guys are probably like, oh, he's just picking Koreans because he wants numbers on Twitch. They're actually the only, well, first off, so many Koreans competing in this, but also a lot of players that I've cast regularly. Tassadar and Czech are two people I do enjoy casting. Tassadar very often in the Zotac Cup every weekend. Czech in the Acer Team Story Cup quite frequently. But we got the initial scout coming off here from the probe. We'll see if he does some harass, but I want to take a look again at the map. Preface to anyone, whoever made Blitzkrieg, not going to be trying, not holding my punches on this one. We just want to take a look at all these maps. They're brand new, and if they're going to potentially be part of the tournament scene, we need a good look at them. So, coming out here initially, again, another really safe natural. Nothing too surprising there. The double ramps is a little bit scary, but you can wall off here no problem if you're going to be Protoss or Terran. So, interesting putting a second ramp there. Makes it a little bit difficult to take fights, I guess, but this smaller map, of course, leads into a safer than usual third, as we've seen from other maps. Option of a fourth, kind of reminiscent. The base layout here initially honestly reminds me of Akalon Waste. Can you guys just imagine the terrain difference for a moment? Pretend there's like collapsible rocks here and a choke. Oh, there's actually kind of a cool little sneaky pathway here, but that could easily be rectified with like a pylon or supply depot. Harassment going on in the natural. We'll go back to looking at the map in a second. I just want to see if this probe dies or not. But Tassadar actually going for the pylon block for now. Did go for the Forge before the Nexus, so the potential of putting cannons down is always present and prevalent. But I want to actually point out there's almost no space behind the mineral lines on any of these bases. And I think a large part of this is because, hey, people are sick of getting cannon rushed. That'll get cannon goes off. Looks like Czech going to be taking the third hatchery. No, he did already get a pull up, so never mind. Not playing super greedy against this, but we'll take his third hatchery pretty quick. And he's going back to our map excavation layouts. Oh, maybe I won't be. Hang on. Come on, do it. Get it. They're probably not going to kill it. He should be able to get home safe and sound. I got my finger over first blood. I know I missed it in the first game. Get it!
First blood.
Nice. Okay, so getting back to the map layout, we've seen the third and the fourth bases at this point. Canada's up at home, by the way. Blah blah blah. Tassadar is fine. This is a pretty standard opening. We're actually not having cheese for once, but so this base is kind of interesting to me because it's the most openly accessible, dangerous base to take. And for a fifth base, typically you see fifth bases kind of tucked away to the sides of the map. They're always going to be exposed. They're always going to be a little bit vulnerable, but I kind of find it interesting that this one has got the high ground ramp as a big threat to it. There's a lot of low ground positions on the map where if you get trapped in against, say, force fields, you could really lose your army straight up. But this is the base that interests me most. So if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, your typical split map scenario in the late game if it comes down to basically if it comes down to the late game. But what's interesting here is this extra base. A lot of these you'll notice a lot of the maps nowadays, there's even numbers of bases. There's not odd numbers of bases. They took out sort of that middle ground base because this can be a huge advantage. If you get this base, if you're going toe to toe, like let's say it's Terran versus Terran, right? Tank for tank, Marine for Marine. You guys are trading left and right all day, all game, but someone manages to get this extra base slightly before their opponent, they're gonna have such an advantage moving forward in that game. Of course, it's always on the other person's, I guess, to-do list to make sure that that doesn't happen in the first place, but this is the one part of the map that really stands out to me. And of course, if every other part of the map is balanced and people enjoy it and all they gotta do is remove this one base, easily done, bam. But of course, what's scary about this base is it's not exactly covered very well. That being said, though, looking back at getting back into the game, we've taken a look at the map layouts. You guys, of course, can leave your opinions in chat. I will check them out from time to time, but most importantly, go to the Team Liquid thread. Let people know feedback about these maps. It's the biggest thing about the maps. If 500 people like post on a map that say this map is crap, it doesn't matter who votes for it if everyone hates it, right? Or vice versa. If people aren't voting for a map that's absolutely fantastic and you guys show your support, it might be enough to change public opinion, but I would love for you guys to leave some notes on Team Liquid. If you go to the thread and say base trade, read this out and leave your opinions, your honest opinions of the map, I will absolutely read your reviews on stream between games. But for now, check it to get in here. See that Tassadar doesn't have a whole lot in the main. Am I still zoomed out? I am still zoomed out. Sorry about that. Where's this? Sentry's gonna come forward to try and poke at the Overlord, but these sentries already being down. He sees the Robo. If Tassadar is gonna go for the Immortal Sentry push, Czech's gonna know about it. 3 bases, he's pretty set up to deal with this. His layer's on the way. His gases are a little delayed, so if he wants to get Hydras out, that's going to be a little bit difficult to do for the time being, but I don't think he's going to be hit too soon, as you really need like 2 or 3 Immortals to push with this. Well, Czech gonna, or not, sorry, not Czech, Tassadar gonna scout out here initially. Again, I believe everything today is best of 3, and it's a loser's pick, guys, so there's not a single map in the map pool that anyone's used to playing. They may have logged on and tried practicing on a couple of these maps beforehand. I know Arthur was kind of fiddling around taking a look at them, but there's no Daybreak, no Belcher. All of these are kind of scary maps. So someone actually before this game even started in chat had a really good point saying we're going to probably see a lot of all-ins today because players are very uncomfortable with these map layouts, but luckily, so far that's not the case. I mean, Tassadar's kind of opened up and looking to do a Sentry Immortal on it, and that's fine, but I think Czech will be able to hold this off, and I don't think he'll have enough to counterattack, so we might see this go to the late game, which I'm really excited about, but a lot of this is going to rely on Czech. Tassadar is dictating the pace of this game. He's going to be the one coming across the map trying to get on top of Czech. He's going to be the one trying to push into the base and end the game. Czech just needs to hold. Now currently he's got a lot of roaches, and maybe, despite scouting the Robo, he didn't smell the Immortal Sentry all in because I don't see any Hydralisks then. I don't see any extra gases, and most importantly, I don't see any spine crawlers. So, I don't know, man. This extra ramp is going to be pretty cool for any fights that come down here. You know, force field this off like crazy, wrap around from behind, but this little pathway, man. There's so many cool ways to go through this map. Alright, well, sentries and the Immortals have been revealed. Czech officially knows what's up, and he's just going to make a lot more roaches to try and deal with this. But as you guys just saw, Immortals don't give a flying gosh darn about roaches. Try to keep it PG here, but one big thing is, of course, Tassadar has to get a pylon up to really make the reinforcements from this work, and he's doing so quite nicely as he hides it from Czech. Czech, in the meantime, has got a lot of options coming from multiple angles. There's even a warp prism here, so forget the pylon for a second. He can always just warp in through that. No anti-air means the warp prism's not going to go down. There's so many roaches. Oh, catching these stalkers is huge, but I don't think he's going to actually kill more than a couple of them. Yeah, forced to back up immediately. Will he find the pylon? Not going on the high ground. He does see it, though. Doesn't want to get force fielded up that ramp. Totally understandable. Macro Hatch is placed here at the 4th very early, but getting right on top of this army, he's going to be able to focus down these sentries. And while the Immortals are scary, the sentries are the powerhouse of this army. However, Czech does not focus the majority of these sentries, and even more roaches are going to go down. Looks like, oh, this could be dangerous. Actually, without the additional force fields on the left side, just enough for the sentries to go down. The Czech manages to squeeze a couple roaches through, but he's got to get more on the field. He doesn't have enough in play to hold the follow-up. If he warps in a couple more sentries, Tassadar can keep pushing. It looks like, yes, our faux U Protoss player will continue the assault. More sentries were warped in. He's got enough energy to recall, though. If worse comes to worse, he could recall out of this mess and be no more worse for wear. But, of course, Czech desperately wants to fight on creep. He doesn't want to take this fight anywhere necessarily. He doesn't want to get force fielded in a position that loses him the game. And right now he's in a very desperate spot. Again, this Immortal push is looking really scary. He knocked down one Immortal earlier, but was it going to be enough? Some great micro action coming out of Tassadar to pick up and cancel the auto attacks of these roaches, but losing a lot of DPS time in doing so. Mothership core goes down, which means no more chance of recall. Queen's being brought in the front lines, and looks like this initial push will be crushed. Second Immortal just barely can't get saved, but the War Prism does save one. Good game is going to be called, though. Not enough to hold on to this. Czech takes game 1 over Tassadar. And, of course, again, I need to remind everybody, it's a loser's pick. So it's going to be up to Tassadar to pick the map.